Chilly Friday, at least if you're out here in the northeastern part of the country. A little cold going through here, a little snow expected this weekend. Regardless, thank you for your warmth in joining me here today. And today, what I want to talk about is continuing on with this passage we looked at, where it's the story of Abram. It's going through a bunch of battles, and God has this beautiful line like, "Give me the souls, give me the souls, give me your souls." And we talked yesterday about how that really should be a very joyous kind of thing. It's not an angry God, bargaining for souls or anything. That's like God just going, "Hey, give me your souls." Very, to me, it has a connotation of Jesus's famous words, "My yoke is easy and my burden is light." Like that kind of giving that we're being asked to be part of. And yesterday we looked at sort of the positive side of that idea in terms of a connection with the Quaker tradition, that there is this part of God, part of the Lord in all of us. It's a gift. It's deep within, no matter where you are in life or how good or bad life is. It's always there. And sometimes we cover it up. Sometimes people, I think, maybe have it covered up for most of their lives. But that doesn't mean that love in the end does not win. And today we're looking at the other side of the equation, the other part, and we can hold this very lightly. So in Christian New Church theology, just sort of Christian New Church theology 101, and these are sort of more modern language than you might hear in a more formal setting. But in more modern language, Swedenborg held that our lives kind of have these two components, many components, but two that are worthy of consideration are our best intentions versus our compulsions. And you think about it every day. I really do believe most people wake up really trying to do the best they can. I mean, they can rapidly lose track of that, but I don't know anybody who actually makes the opposite choice. Like, how can I make today the worst day possible? I don't think that happens too often. Or I hope it doesn't happen too often. So there's a best intention part, and that clearly is an echo of heaven, an echo of the better angels of our nature. It's an echo of a lot of beautiful things. And then we have this crazy compulsive part of our life as well. And here is a place where he talks about what that part is like. And we all have good and evil in us. So you'll hear the word evil spirits here. Just think about the shadow side of yourself is the way to think of this. The life that evil spirits have and desperately love, I enjoy that term, desperately love, is a life consisting in the urges of self-love and materialism. In other words, the urges, you feel this urging that comes out of narcissism, might be the way we say it today. It's a life of hatred, revenge, cruelty. No other kind of life offers any joy, they believe. And that's a way to kind of check our compulsions. I mean, it's interesting and we can treat this one fairly lightly. I mean, there are big compulsions. People struggle with real serious addictions to alcohol or drugs or sex or any number of things. Those are big ones and clearly need a lot of attention. And as well, there's a lot of sort of minor compulsions that we struggle with every day. And can we take a look at those, and can we try to figure out some way to combat those? Well, a couple of thoughts here. One of the challenges is this belief that feeds into compulsive behavior. Like, compulsive behavior is fed by and feeds into falsity. It feeds into these crazy ways of looking at the world. And one of them is that line, no other kind of life offers any joy, they believe. And I know for myself, when I'm compulsively trying to do something, I really believe that, if I just have this thing, then I will finally get happy. If I just have this meal, or I just have this particular drink, or I just have this particular car, or I just have this, take your pick, right? If I just have this particular thing, then finally I will have joy in my life. That's a very, very, very dangerous way to see the world. Dangerous, too strong a term. I shouldn't have said it that way. It's a very challenging way to see the world, because what happens, friends, is we get that thing that we have this compulsive need for. Oftentimes, we do a lot of damage on the way to getting it, and when we do that damage, it's serious stuff. I mean, it's it's not good, and we can just miss. And when we get it, we realize there's no joy. I remember way back when one of my older sisters, she had a boyfriend who had this saying, which I really liked. And he was talking about how he was yearning for this thing and he got it and he realized that wasn't the thing. And he said, yeah, I realized the pleasure was in the wanting. And I think there's something to that, right? Of one of the people on our sermon writing team talks about really liking fried shrimp, and that if he just had, he went to some place, he said, if I just have fried shrimp, I'll be happy. Guess what? Had fried shrimp, didn't do it. That's the lie of compulsive behavior. And folks, again, we can treat it so lightly. Like we can just think like, oh yeah, if I just had this, then I'll finally be happy. And that's where to just as a simple spiritual practice, when you feel that sort of compulsive, frenetic, desperation fueled behavior coming up, you just feel this like, I gotta do this. Just start with just taking a breath. Just take a breath. That's simple. Take a breath. Because one thing I've noticed about compulsive behaviors is oftentimes if I can just simply shift gears, just simply see something a little bit differently, take a breath, the compulsion will come in, it'll stir my heart, it'll get me to think through how I would get this thing or how much I need this thing or how much joy this thing will bring me, no doubt. But if I just breathe and go like, all right, that's just a compulsive thought. Just let it go. Just let it go. And the beautiful piece, and this is like where this is where Christian nutritiology I think is so powerful, is that if I can just breathe and I can let the compulsion go, just like just let it go. And I may need to distract myself. I may need to, I mean, I'm a big compulsive eater. I may need to go to a different room. I may need to not keep food in my office. There are things I need to do that will help with that. But the miracle is this, folks. Once I breathe and let the compulsion go, which takes a little bit of time, it takes practice, not easy, progress, not perfection. We're not going to do it 100% right 100% of the time. But once I let that go, the best intention's there. I mean, that's the miracle. And I feel like I say that a lot, but I want to keep coming back to it. The miracle is that the default is the good stuff. We think the default is the compulsion. No, that's a frenetic part of our natural man, our bodily existence, our corporeal self, our proprium, whatever you want to, our shadow self, as Thomas Merton called it, any word you want to use. But that's not actually the real you as God envisions you living your life. God envisions you coming from a much different place. And the beautiful part is that compulsion can actually become an invitation to your best intention. So we take a breath, we allow that compulsion to just move through us, allow it to, go its own way. And then inevitably it will shift us into a better intention and a way of seeing out there into the world. I mean, that incredibly powerful. And that's where the power of God comes in. It's what would I want to say? It's not a subtle power there per se. I mean, I think that we're talking the power of the universe, arrayed around best intentions and around our ability to follow them, our ability to hear them, and our ability to follow them. And most of the time, folks, again, it's not always big stuff. We have some beautiful souls at New Church Life. We do wonderful service projects that I know about. And no doubt there's hundreds, if not thousands of others per day that are much smaller, much simpler, but every bit as profound as the big stuff. So, friends, here's our thought for today. Our thought for today is we have compulsions, we have best intentions. Thought for today is when a compulsive thought, a compulsive action comes up, you start feeling frenetic, start believing the lie that, well, if I just have this, then I'll finally be happy. Just breathe, take a breath, let it go, and watch how God fills your life with a much better intention. It may take a little bit of time, it may take you stilling your mind, it may take a little bit of prayer, but it'll be there, and that's a beautiful part of being human. As we continue on our job, all of us, angels in training. That simple. All right, dear friends, that's our thought going into this cold weekend. And what we're going to do now is we're going to shift gears. We're going to shift gears. We're going to do a little meditation, a little prayer, a little blessing, and then we'll say hi to folks on social media. So with that, friends, let's get a little breath. And a prayer bow. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends, let's give a little cheery hello to folks here. All right. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend ahead. We certainly do here in our household, that is for sure. Susan and I have some good stuff planned. All right. More comments here. Let me turn off the sound here. All right. Marcus, good morning to you, buddy. Linda, good morning to you, my friend. Rita, good morning. Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to you as well. Jean, good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. Deneen writes, we need to be intentional and determine the line between compulsion and dreams. We often think our wants and compulsions are our dreams. You're right. Stop and breathe. Deneen, that is a marvelous point. I really like that, right? Yeah. Yeah. And oh man, that's really good. Boy, I could say a lot to that. That's very well said, Deneen. I got to save that for a sermon. Sherry writes, it's nice to keep alternative to compulsive actions in your back pocket. Have a super weekend. Stay warm. And it's so true, Sherry. Like it's funny. I mean, for me, it's just a silly little one. But if I'm really like, especially, I mean, it sounds silly, right? But I'm a compulsive eater. Like I am a buffet's best friend. And if I start thinking too much about that stuff, I mean, just simply going and taking a shower, right? Just as silly as that sounds, it's just as a distraction, and it's a small little action that makes a big difference. That's a great example there. All right, so let's flip over onto here and say a lot of folks over here who might have joined us. All right, one more comment over there. Kim, good morning to you, my friend. Uh, so nice, so nice, so nice, Kim, to have you joining us. So, friends, wishing you all the best. May God just bless your weekend. May you have time just living into those best intentions with your friends and your family, and just be in that spirit as you go through your weekend. And we will join you again next week. Hope you can join me on Sunday at New Church Live. We're going to be taking a look at it's going to be a fun service. We're looking at a challenge that a lot of teenagers, adolescents have to work with. So it'll be a great service. If you have adolescents in your life, or if you have an adolescent part of your life, which I think probably most of us do. So you're more than welcome to join us Sunday at 10:30 a.m. And a final closing word from our incredibly generous sponsors. Like our content, it's funded by viewers like you. Please consider becoming a sustaining supporter of New Church Live today. Take care, friends, and God bless. Bye-bye.